I made one of these aluminum foil satellite dish cookers. It's just like made with aluminum foil tape. Not the good stuff that's really shiny. So this right here, cheap aluminum foil tape. And you put your hand right there. It gets pretty hot, really hot. Okay, you can see that the lumens generated are very high. So even in terms of brightness, it's very high, very bright. Definitely hurt you. Okay, so just switch this around somehow. I got my shades on. That's the first thing you do. Put your shades on. Lumens are so high, I would maybe even say welding goggles. These things can be very dangerous. So I could not boil water with it, but nonetheless it works. I'm going to try to get this thing adjusted here to where it's very, very bright. It's still, the lumens are really very high no matter what. Very high in terms of lumens. So somewhere in there is going to be your hot spot. Somewhere right in there. That's the hot spot, probably right there. So shut this off for a little while. I'll mess around with it for a little while, but you don't really want to burn your eye out or burn your face off or anything like that. But these things, if the mirrored ones, they were claiming up to 1,000 degrees centigrade, which can do some damage, really. So you don't want that. I don't think you do anyway. So if you do accidentally put your eye out, then you didn't see this video. So you can explain why I'm going to keep this, why it works fine for me, because it starts charcoal pretty easily, and from the charcoal I can start the fire. So it is a matchless charcoal starter. So I start my charcoal with it and throw it in the barbecue, and pretty soon I have a bed of charcoal going that I can cook with, which saves on matches. But other than that, it'd take a long time to recuperate the cost, because matches are not very expensive. Matches and lighter fluid, which they usually use to start these. Don't need it with this for sure, but it is nice. It is very nice. It starts them very nicely. and could be happier with the result. So it's worth it. Just regular aluminum tape, and it has kind of a sticky back. It's black, and it's I say it was worth it because I don't have to buy the lighter fluid and matches anymore. So that one's off, but I will buy the briquettes. They're that I like cooking with them. And I like this thing. But I say I would not tell anybody to use this without taking the safety precautions, because you really might hurt yourself. Really easy to hurt yourself with this one. So you want to keep it in case, and keep it out away from children. So this one is up high. It's up about, it's up about 4 feet. So keep this thing up high where you're not going to get. And right here, the range on this it's short range. It's a smaller unit, so it's a short range. It's not going to hurt. It's about 14 inches away, and it's not going to hurt anybody. So unless their face is right there at about that 13 or 14 inches away from the mirror in a spot where those lumens are high. Now you can see it starting to start the wood on fire, so it's starting to smoke now. It'll probably start this wood on fire. So can you start a wood fire with it? Yeah, it looks like you can, but I haven't done, I really didn't try that. This is bark starting on fire. So, but it's just easier to do with the briquettes, But this one, you just put a pair of shades on, and you're pretty well protected, because it won't even boil water. It's just didn't go to any lengths to get that perfect mirror finish or anything like that. You don't even need to do that if you don't want to actually eliminate all the briquettes and the whole 9 yards. Just cook with sunlight. But I personally am not at the point where I want to say, yeah, that's the way to go, because you have to have a lot of power. And just those mirrored ones are more dangerous, and you have to take the right precautions. You need to keep them to where they're not going to get in anybody's eyes or burn anybody. And only you get to inflict a pretty severe burn in a very short amount of time with one of those. So I say this one's good enough. I'm not gonna try to make a mirror version of this, a mirrored one, perfect mirror. This foil is just fine. So you're getting a pretty good start there. See, it's smoking quite a bit. So off to the races here. We can have a hamburger on here pretty soon. Okay, so these start smoldering, and they get a little white patch like that, and that is starting on fire right there. So get that little start. That right there is really hot. So take these and these little burn patches and pile them up in a little pan, and then then it'll start a fire. But I don't want to start a fire right now, so I'm just going to wrap this up, take this back in. This is the end of the test to see if I can start a fire. I could see that it will end up in a fire if I keep going. Hey, these solar cookers, they're not really for kids. You need to keep them away from kids. You need to keep them in a case of some sort. You don't want to leave them out laying, because if the sun hits them at the right angle and it hits something that's flammable, it can start a fire, or a person runs by, like a kid or something, you get burned or blinded. You're not going to have the problems that you would with lighter fluid and matches, kids running off, starting fires, or getting burned, getting chemical burns with lighter fluid getting on them and whatnot. So you don't have messes like that. But you need to keep in mind that that thing needs to be kept away from children. They're not for children. They're not toys. They're dangerous. You need to protect your eyes and your skin, and the best way is to keep them in a case. And when you get them out to cook, then set them up. You want them up high so children can't get in there, and get in the field where where the lumens are high. They call that the focal point. So you don't want that focal point anywhere near, where someone can get in the way of it, get themselves blinded or burned. They're fairly dangerous, so, but maybe I would say a little bit less dangerous than lighter fluid and matches. That's lighter fluid and matches. That's pretty dangerous, really. You can think about it. I see the people leaving their lighter fluid and matches laying around all the time, and very easily can be picked up, spirited away, and end up in a big fire. So I think they're a little bit safer than to start briquettes than matches and lighter fluid.